Hello, Julie Bartkus here. How's everyone doing this evening? I am so excited to be here for another episode of the Childcare Business Success Show. If you're here tuning in, say hello. I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to hear where you're tuning in from. So you can go ahead and just make some comments below, and my team will be here this evening via the comment section to chat with you and to create some engagement. And as you know, we thrive on interaction and thrive on engagement. So we're also awarding some prizes this evening. And we've got a couple of those that I'll be telling you about as we get going. But tonight's show is all about your hiring process. And are you hiring right from the start? Because the way that you hire from the start makes a difference as to how that employment progresses. Let me know if you agree with that statement. Give me an "oh yeah, Julie," because a lot of times I find out that there's a lot of organizations who are very, very skilled, and we have single site clients and multi-site clients, and they are very, very skilled at bringing those people in. But then it becomes like this whole cycle that we can't break out of, where it's like we keep hiring, we keep hiring, we keep hiring, and we keep hiring, and we keep turning over, keep turning over, keep turning over, keep turning over. So we've got to put some essential pieces into place so that we can have long-term, long-lasting, sustainable employment from our folks, so that we hire the right people in and those people stay for a while. So if you have challenges that you would like to share regarding your hiring process, please list them in the comment section. And I will do my best to check in there and to answer your questions. And I know Jonna will be in our comments or interacting with everybody in the audience, as well as Loretta will be here on and off. And I hope you like our later time frame, but we really want to impact as many people as we can with the show this evening. So that's going to bring me to telling you about our first prize giveaway. Our first prize giveaway is the yummiest brownies in the world. Yeah. And if you've gotten brownies and you've loved the brownies, let everybody know that you've gotten the brownies and you love the brownies. And if you have gotten them, or if you haven't gotten them, well, tonight's another opportunity. So we have an engagement prize, and the person who makes the most comments in the comment section or shares the word, inspires other people to come and watch the show, have them come and comment, make your name in the comment section, and Jonna will be keeping tally of who is our winner. And it's not a very strict count, just so you know, but it is a gut feeling in terms of who is the most engaged person. And you're going to get some brownies. Now, the other prize that we have is for our group members. And if you're not yet a member of the Childcare Business Success group, I encourage you to come on over, join our group. Jonna will drop the link for you. And the person who's had the most engagement over the past week wins a free marketing video from us that you can use to promote an open house, your school, your center, a new employee, whatever it is, but you can use that marketing video however you would like to. And all I ask is that you allow about 30 days for the delivery of your brownies. And all the prizes, you'll have to fill out a prize claim form, but then we'll get those over to you. And the marketing video is pretty cool, but you do need to lay it out like a PowerPoint presentation, and then we basically put it in video format that makes it look super engaging and super interactive. So it really pulls people into you. All right, who's here? I'm going to put on my glasses so I could say hello to some people. And like I said, you know, if there are challenges that you faced, oops, where are we? Okay, sorry, my computer just totally blacked out on me. All right, and if there are challenges you face, and I know there are, you know, staff motivation and issues pertaining to staff is one of the super problems in the childcare industry. So please know that. You know, they are key. Staff members are key. They are essential to our success, but at the same time, they are the thing that will really draw our business under quicker than anything if we're not getting that piece right. So what are your challenges with the hiring process? And I want to hear your comments on that. And I'm going to do some, Q&A too, where I could answer your questions. And someday I would really love to have some of our viewers join me live so we can have a live Q&A. But for now, let's hear what people are saying about brownies. All right, Lala, nice to see you here. Loves the brownies. Hey, Mindy, nice to see you here. She says that the brownies are amazing. All right. Let's see who else. Susan McDonald. Or no, I'm sorry, Shayla McDonald. Oh, glad you got some brownies too. Awesome. Nice to have you here. Hey, Brandon, did you get your brownies from me? I hope you got your latest batch. All right. Oh, Laura got some as well. Laura got some. Sounds good. All right. Okay. Fantastic. So good stuff on the brownies. Now, the bigger question, what are your hiring challenges? So go ahead and write some questions below or write for me what your questions are regarding hiring because I want to tailor the show. Phil, how are you? So Phil is one of my friends, amazing person. Oops, wait, a kid has comment. Phil says I may have to get into the business so I can get some brownies. Yeah, Phil's one of my good friends. Nice to see you here, Phil. All right, and Deborah says getting and keep, what? Comments keep changing here. All right, so let's talk about challenges with hiring our staff. So Deborah says getting and keeping good help in my toddler room. That seems like the room that nobody wants to work in. All right. And Lara says getting references to call back. Yeah, references are always a challenge. So let's tackle a couple of these things. You know, a lot of times we don't even ask for references anymore because so many people are trained not to give out references when we're looking for help. So people are not even returning calls. They won't even give references. Sometimes they won't even state much when you get them on the phone. So that's a real challenge in itself. So I'm going to make a note here, Lara, so that we talk about references. All right, what other challenges do we have? You want to talk about writing ads. Okay, so Mindy wants to talk about writing ads. Absolutely. So we'll talk about writing ads. Let's see, what other challenges do you have? Shayla says, staff saying they have open availability, then changing it once they are hired. All right. And Jana, if you could help me keep track of some of these questions and make sure that I'm getting to answer them. All right. I'm going to show Brandon here. Brandon says best platforms to use for candidates is difficult to find. All right, Brandon, best platform. I think we're going to have a pretty good show this evening. All right. Let's see who else. Any other challenges? These will get us a good start. See if I'm missing any here. All right, we got some hellos coming through. All right, any other challenges? So if there's any challenges, please write them down and I'll periodically check in as much as I can. Let me see here. But remember, if you're here tuning in, dig in the show, make sure you share the word. So go to your director groups right now and let them know the Child Care Business Success Show is happening. We are here to benefit as many people as we can. So I'm just going to type in here that we're going to talk about hiring challenges. Bear with me. All right, so we're going to start talking about the hiring challenges. So one of the first things, that I recommend is that we do have a multi-layer approach to hiring, meaning that you have built in a process for hiring that continuously weeds people out. So your hiring process should all be about weeding people out to get to the absolute best candidates. And I call this my layered approach to hiring. And one of the most important characteristics of my approach to hiring is making sure that you have a telephone interview with your candidates. And during that telephone interview, one very important thing has to happen. Do you know what that is? So when you're having your telephone interviews, one very important thing has to happen. And that is that you need to have one or two questions that will either rule people in or rule them out. So this becomes a benchmark question that you ask right off the bat. And it might be a scary question to ask because you don't necessarily want to rule people in because you need people. But you've got to come from a place of abundance inside of your mind. So I'm just going to address this first, and then we'll backstep to some of the other questions that I saw come through. So you have to have that multi-layered approach to hiring. So it might be regarding hours, it might be regarding characteristics, it might be regarding schedules, whatever it might be. It might be regarding employment history or personality differences. So you come up with a question that you ask during the telephone interview process so that you can either rule them in or rule them out. And even when you bring them into your office, if you get it to the next step, I would bring them into my office and have another set of questions. The quicker you can rule somebody out, the less of your time you waste. And the interview process, although we want to have a nice projection, we want to project something very nice, it's not about being nice, because a lot of times we don't want to hurt somebody's feelings and cut the interview process short. But I tell you what, some interviews can go on for 2 or 3 hours. And if you're interviewing the candidate who you know in your gut is not a right fit, if you cut that interview down to 15 or 20 minutes, you get a lot of your life back. And you've probably been there where you let the interview process go on for way too long and you're like, just don't have a good feeling about this. And it's interesting, even if you convince yourself later on in the interview process that maybe they're the right person, typically if you bring them on board, and you can let me know if you've experienced this or not, but if you bring them on board, you had a bad gut feeling to start off with, you hire them anyways because, there's possibility there and there's hope. Later on, it can bite you in the butt. And it typically does, because that first thing that you had a gut reaction about that wasn't going to be a good employment situation is the same thing you'll experience later on when that employment didn't work out. And you'll be like, oh, I knew that, but I hired them anyways. So one of the things that we've really got to do is start coming from a mindset of abundance. And when we do our live events, like we have our Create My Dream Team experience coming up, is we are always expanding our mindset. This is the hugest factor that you can put into place, or the hugest skill that you can build when it comes to hiring right from the start. Never, ever, 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 if at all possible, hire out of desperation. And I know in this industry, after working in it for almost 20 years, that it is so easy to get to a place where we are hiring from desperation. But then we become like, I was thinking like, just like a mill, a hiring mill, where we're just churning people in, getting them in as quickly as possible, not a right fit. 3 weeks later, they're out, or they go to the post office, they don't come back, or 5 people go out to lunch together one day and they all don't come back. And these are all stories that I've heard from my childcare clients over the years. And this is what I want to change for you, is to where you are taking the hiring process very slow, but slow with impact, not just slow to be slow, because we still want to move it along. I mean, if your gut is giving you 100% yes, and you've gotten really skilled at attracting amazing people, then I could say you can move the process along faster. But the thing you have to realize about hiring is that you hire from a place where you're at inside of your mind. And this is why, to me, the interview process and hiring process is a very personalized, very individualized process. The mistake that we're making is looking over shoulders and looking at what everybody else is doing, right? We're looking at, well, what ads are they putting out there? And what are they doing this and this and this? And what are their interview questions? We work with our clients to structure very specific, very personalized interview questions so that you've got a personalized process that matches where your mindset is, so that you can take it to the next level, because you hire based upon the thoughts that you think and the thoughts that you dwell on. You simply do. And if you get lucky where you hire somebody who's outside of your own mindset, where they've got a greater mindset, chances are they're not going to stick around for too long, or they're going to be impacted by the workplace culture that you already have cultivated. So it's really important to do a reflective process during the hiring process to say, where do I need to grow? Where have I made hiring mistakes in the past? And this is really important right here. This is really important, is to ask yourself the question, what interview questions can I ask to help me weed out the people who I've attracted in the past who have not been good matches for our organization? Did you guys get that? Jonna, that's definitely something to repeat. But you never, ever, ever want to just hire, interview, or ask all kinds of interview questions that you've read that are the best interview questions. But you want to look at the hiring mistakes you've made in the past and then structure interview questions to meet you at that place so that you move beyond the people that you've attracted in the past into a whole new realm of possibilities for who you can bring on board. Make sense? And let me know if you've got any questions regarding that, because I really want to get those things addressed for you. All right, so that's some of the things about. Now, when you call for references, this is a big thing that comes up because this day and age, we call for references and we get, yes, they worked here from this state to this state, and that's all I could say. But there are different things that you can look for in the hiring process when you ask for references to give you a little bit of a clue in terms of, is this a good reference check or a bad reference check? So when it comes to references, as much as possible, get the person on the phone and then measure a couple different things. So number one, if you don't get them on the phone and they call you back and they call you back pretty quick and leave a decent recommendation, that is a really good sign. So just how quickly do they follow up with you? Because if they liked the person, they want to help that person in whatever way they can. So there will be a very quick follow-up call to your reference check. If they didn't like the person, don't care about the person, it'll be weeks and you'll have to make several calls, and then finally you might hear something. But the second thing is, when you do speak with somebody or even in voicemail messages, pay attention, pay very close attention to tonality in their voice. So when they talk about this person who you're thinking about hiring, are they excited? What does their voice say? And when I worked as a recruiter, an executive recruiter for a Fortune 500 company, and we did executive recruiting and then we did low-level recruiting as well. But we had some of the best retention rates for our low-level hires that there ever was in this company's history. But pay attention to tonality. Are they excited to talk to you? Do they say things with, with like happiness in their voice? And you could sense it. And if you're not clued in to energetic tonalities, I encourage you to start paying attention to the way people talk. And this is really important too. And this is on a side note, but this is really important for the way that your people answer the phone at your organization, at your childcare program. So if you get people who say, hey, ABC Childcare, like, what do you want? That tonality, regardless of the words, gives off one impression. Where if they say, oh, this is the best day ever for the kiddos in our care, thank you for calling, you could hear it. The same thing is true when it's references. When you mention somebody's name and they go, oh, Susan, unfortunately, I can't say anything, but she worked here from this time period to this time period. You could tell in their voice whether they like the person or not. So use tonality as a clue and use that as part of your reference check. So I would even have a little box on your reference check form. Granted, you use one of those, which everybody should, but your reference check form that says, check tonality. And was it positive? Was it uplifting? Or was it monotone? Was it flat? So you could have some different words to look for when doing those reference checks. So did they really like this person or didn't they? So it becomes a whole other language to understand, which is tonality. And tonality is something that we learn from a very early age, whether it's our parents telling us no or telling us a joke or whatever it might be. But we're really clued into tonality. So now let's go back a little bit, put that fine ear back in where we can hear people's tonalities to say, is this a good reference or is this not a good reference? So use that tonality. So, and if you've used this in the past, and this has worked for you, let us know. Or if you haven't used this and you're going to use this, give us this is a great aha. So I want to hear about your aha moments on this show as we progress also. What are the things that you're gaining? What are you going to put into practice? And then that will help me in future shows to come on back and elaborate on different points that we're making. So Mindy says, let's see, absolutely agree on tone of voice. And Brandon, to my side note comment here, I learned a long time ago to answer the phone with a smile on your face. It can be heard. That's so true. And, some of my staff will look at me before I get on the phone. It's like I smile. And, it's really important because you are projecting an energy. And there's a universal law called the impression of increase. And people want to be in other people's presence who they feel will enhance their life. And if your confidence is shaky or the enthusiasm in your tonality is shaky, it's like, I probably don't want to be around them. I don't know why, but I probably won't. And we'll have to do a whole other show just on answering phones and different things along those lines. All right, Brandon, going to hide you. All right, any other comments? So use tonality when you're checking references. Let me know if that helps, but there's a lot that you could tell in just a person's voice. So number one, on your reference check form, make sure that you put down how quickly the person called you back. What was their tonality like? What were some of the words that they use? And if they are able to give you a reference for the person, then watch for the words. There should be lots of superlatives in there. There should be things like fantastic and wonderful and great and oh my goodness. So you should be hearing superlatives come through in the conversation about that person. So make sure that you're looking for those also in the reference checks. All right. So that's it about reference checks. Let's talk. All right, let's talk for a moment about the best place. I like this question a lot that Brandon had asked about the best place or the best platform. And most people these days are using Indeed, and someday maybe we'll have an Indeed expert on our show with us. But they're using Indeed, and there's a couple things that you can do on Indeed that some of our clients have really mastered. And that is making sure on Indeed that you stand out as the childcare program of choice where everybody wants to work. How do you do this? Well, you can have a profile that has a video on it. One of our clients, Mary, did this, and she put her face and a message to people right on Indeed. I think she took one of our interviews and put it on her Indeed profile so that actual people can hear her talking about her school and her vision. Now, the cool thing is once you put your vision out there, like Mary did through your Indeed profile, you can ask what I think is one of the most important questions to ask during an interview process. And that is, how do your strengths and skills, how will they contribute to our vision coming to life? That is one of the best interview questions. And then you wait in silence for the person just to talk. So don't be afraid of the dead air. But the cool thing is once your vision is out there and people are doing their homework, which they should be, you can ask them that important question of how do your strengths and skills contribute to us accomplishing our vision? And if they're really good, they should bring up the vision question before you have the opportunity to ask it. But if they don't, please know that that is one of the best interview questions. And that is a general interview question, but I think still one of the best interview questions that you can ask. Your vision's got to be out there. So when it comes to platform, many are using Indeed. I have an alternative for you as well. And I also want to let you know that I'm not sure if it matters so much what platform you use as the intent behind the action. And you've probably heard me talk about this a lot, where it's the energy behind the intent and it's the intent behind the action that drives the result. So you can be posting on Indeed, and we have one of our mentorship members, Tim, who always posted on Indeed, and his results totally changed once he changed the energy behind the ad. So this is really important. If you change the energy behind the intent, regardless of where you're placing your ads, you're going to start getting a different result. And Tim put his new ad that we wrote at the Create My Dream Team experience in Vegas. He took that ad that he wrote at that event, put it up, and over the weekend, I think he said he got like 9 amazing applicants applying for jobs. So that is priceless. And it's not that he used a different platform. He used the exact same platform that he always did, but what he changed was the energy, his energy, and that was reflective in the ad. So it's energy behind the intention, and it's the intention behind the action that's going to get you the result. So, yes, Brandon, that is true. So he says, remember, here we go. Good one. Good reminder here. What we focus on is what enlarges. That's absolutely true. So what you focus on expands and it grows. So a lot of us remain in the mindset that that there's not enough. There's not enough good people out there. There's not enough candidates. The job pool has dried up. We talk to other resource groups in our local community. They're all experiencing the same problem. So then we just accept it as an industry problem that we're going to have to deal with for the length that we have our childcare program, the length that we're a leader in the childcare industry. And that is not true. You can totally change this picture for yourself if you desire, if you have the desire to. So if you want to be the childcare program of choice in your community that doesn't have hiring issues, here's the formula for it. Are you ready? If you're ready for this, get your pen and paper out and give me an "oh yeah" in the comments. Because this is big. And what I'm going to share with you can totally shift everything. But it's all about your mindset, because your mindset is going to dictate the results that you get. It's all about the energy. It's all about the intention. So this is the step that I want you to make sure that you're taking when it comes to your interview process, your hiring process, is to make sure that you get yourself in the frame of mind where you are feeling, now get this, you are feeling as though you already have the most amazing people lined up at your door waiting for a job, so that you can at any time choose to replace the people who are currently employed with you for somebody who you think is going to be better at bringing the vision to life. You should always be hiring. You should always be enrolling. You should always be looking at your weakest players and saying, okay, I'm going to strengthen this team and I'm going to add stronger players into the mix. But like I said, the secret is the energy. And you bring the energy to life by sitting in the feeling. So this is a place where you can close your eyes, breathe, and see the people lining up at your door. Visualize knock after knock after knock after knock, or email coming through after email coming through after email coming through, that I want to work for you. And you got to let yourself sit in that place, maybe 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. Let yourself just go to that place and feel like the result that you desire is already here. Athletes who accomplish amazing things, who break world records, who do things that people say it's totally not possible, use the power of visualization to get themselves into the feeling of the thing that they want to transpire. So it might be winning a swimming contest or whatever it might be, a football game, but they are visualizing it. They're closing their eyes. They're seeing the win happen and they're going, woohoo, yes, you got this. It's the same thing that we need to be doing in our childcare programs, where we are visualizing that people are lined up. And then that becomes the energy behind the intention. And if that's the only thing that you get from the show tonight, you've gotten a huge nugget of gold to take and run with and implement. Okay? So who's going to run with that one? Who's going to implement that one? Let me know. But this is a muscle that you have to build. And this is something that I will work with our mentorship clients over and over and over and over again, because it's so easy for our mindset to go back and default to the place that is known. The place that is known is the place that we see with our eyes. When I'm talking about shifting your mindset, you're not yet seeing the result with your eyes. You're seeing the result inside of your mind's eye, which is why you've really got to tap into imagination and use imagination as an essential foundational building block for having your dream team in place. I hope that makes sense. All right, we'll get to some more questions here. Okay, let's go back here. All right, another question. I'll take this one from Honeytree. Honeytree, can't wait to see you guys in Boston. How do you keep the mindset when you are not solely responsible for hiring as with multi-site programs. Yeah. So you can have a mindset that still dictates. So a lot of what I do, so let's say that you've got an owner in your company or somebody who onboards or hires. You can totally, from a mindset perspective, get in sync energetically so that you are visualizing that person being in sync with you. So this is another mindset shift. If you got somebody else who's on board now, there might be somebody else who you're just not in alignment with the vision. And then you've got to make a decision. Okay, can I really use my skills and talents and everything I want to do here at this organization, or do I need to move on? Or do I need to have a conversation about this with somebody? But whichever you decide, visualize that person with, like I do, bright pink lights. I visualize bright pink lights around that person's head, and I see the best possible outcome transpiring. So I see us energetically syncing up. I see that person really looking and understanding what it takes to have the best people on board. So energetically, I get aligned with that person, even if we can't do it physically, but I do it from a mental perspective energetically. And then it's amazing sometimes how reality starts to shift for me and for the other person who are, when I'm doing the visualization. So let me know if that helps, Honey Tree. But keep in mind that you could still visualize, and you can visualize on a level where you see that person being totally in sync with the new hires that you need to make. Okay. All right. Let's see what Mindy has to say here. I feel like everyone is trainable. Just have to figure out what works best for them. Now, it's true, but here's where I would caution you with that, is that everybody is trainable. Absolutely. Everybody has a capacity to grow, but they might not always grow under your leadership. And one of the things that you have to do when you are going through the hiring process is to set a boundary, to know when is it time for you to use the magical 4-letter word of next. Because too often we want to hang on for way too long, and that will also lead us to make bad hiring decisions. So there are some people who we hire, then they're hiring mistakes, and there are other people who are mismanaged. And we need to put a plan of action into place to really help transform them and help us be able to manage, motivate, and retain great staff. So it's a 2-part equation where I would want to know, what are your boundaries when it comes to who you help and how you help? That's really important to define for yourself so that you don't overstep your own boundaries and start bending over backwards for a person who's not even meeting you halfway. Everybody's trainable. Everybody has potential, but your loyalty has to be more towards the vision than towards your people. And I want you to get that. Once your loyalty is more towards the vision, you're going to have better boundaries in place, and you're going to make more effective hiring decisions. Does that make sense? Make sense, Mindy? Let me know. All right, Brandon, loving these comments tonight. This great interaction. All right. I say there are no bad students, only bad teachers. And I've been the bad teacher many, many times before. I'm learning. It's so true. When I go into workplaces, everybody says, when I ask them the important question, how many of you want to walk into work and feel motivated, feel positive, feel inspired? Everybody wants it. Everybody wants it. They just don't know how to get there. So now the opportunity is to figure out, how do you lead so that your people can grow? So it is a learning process for us. So there are people definitely who are mismanaged, who we can learn to hone our leadership skills around and really help them be a very effective employee. And then there are people who we just have to let go of and say next. And this is true even with the hiring process, is that you've got to look at, okay, who didn't show up for the interview, who didn't call back, who was flushing toilets while I was on the phone interview with them, who was feeding the cat or dog during the phone interview process. This is really important. Golden nugget right here. You ready? Golden nugget. I'm going to hide Brandon's comment. Golden nugget. But when you're on that phone interview and you call the person to schedule the interview or to have it at that moment, do they know who you are? If somebody is doing their due diligence in their job hunting, process, then they will have a file folder of people who they are contacting, people who they really want to work for. So if it comes up where they don't even know who you are and they're clueless and you have to remind them and say, oh yeah, on such and such date, you applied for a job, and they don't really know or remember, you have to say, this probably isn't the right person because they're really not that enthusiastic about working for us. Remember, it's natural nature for levels to go down, to decrease. As somebody gets familiar with the workplace, as they start their job, their enthusiasms will increase. Or it will decrease. So what you see at the start of the process, the interview process, should be enthusiasm levels where the person is like totally on fire to work for you. They are excited. They know your vision. They know your company. They've researched your website. They could ask you good, intelligent questions during the interview process. So those are some things to really keep in mind when you're on the phone with somebody. They should know who you are, and they should be very well equipped to ask you questions about yourself and your company and anything that they feel that they need to know. That will tell you how engaged somebody is right from the start. But if during that phone interview process, they're clueless, they don't ask you anything, I would really, really think about it. I would think about it and then have maybe a different approach for measuring their excitement. Do they then, after not being that excited on the phone, do they show up late for the interview? If they do, thank you, but no thank you. 10 minutes is up and you're not the best candidate. Now, the question often comes up, well, Julie, if we're interviewing all these people, what do we say to them? When it comes to, are we hiring them? Are we not hiring? And what I say to them, and if you're on the phone, so let's take it back one step. And if you're on the phone with them where you're doing a telephone interview, I would let them know that we are going through the first step in our process, which is to have a phone interview with everybody. And the people who we identify as our top candidates will be able to proceed to the next step, which is to come on in for a live interview. And if you're selected for that next step, you'll be getting a call back in the next week or so, and then we'll schedule time for you to come on in. So that's part of your process. It's part of slowing the interview process down. And it also gives you an out. If you're on the telephone, you're like, no way, this person is not for us. You could either be very direct and say, well, this isn't not a match for us, and this is not a match for us, but thank you so much for your time. Because you got to remember, even if you don't hire the person who's on the phone, they still have the opportunity to be one of your raving fans. So why not make those people into your raving fans by being very direct with them? And I know I appreciate direct communication as much as possible. I'd rather have a person say directly something than to beat around the bush and to not give it to me as they see it. So I want to know the truth. And I encourage you to build that skill. And that's something that we're typically weaker in, is having that very direct communication. But during the interview process is a time where you could practice having that direct communication so that you could put it into place for confrontations and other things that you might need to deal with in your workplace. All right, let's see what else we have coming through here. Mindy, I try and ask a question about something on our webpage, the phone interview, to see if they've looked into us. Fantastic. And what has that shown you? Do you find that most people know something about you? Let us know. All right, gonna hide you. And let's see, Honeytree says, I used to ask in a previous job, what do you know about us? But I haven't been doing that currently. I need to ask it again. Absolutely. And Honeytree also says, I'm definitely direct, a little too much sometimes, right? But be direct about the right things. Be direct in a way that helps people grow, because that is your role, is to grow your people. And also keep in mind too, if you have people who interview, whether it's on the phone, and it could be a thanks, but no thanks, you could even still send them a follow-up thank you in the mail. Send them a handwritten thank you note and say, thank you so much for thinking about Honeytree. We are here to grow and to inspire everybody who comes into our presence. And we thank you for taking the time to interview with us. It was a pleasure to get to know you on a deeper level. Unfortunately, our goals didn't line up, but so it's still an opportunity to build a relationship, and you just never know how those relationships will benefit you down the line. So that's something important to keep in mind. All right, let's see, any other questions coming through? This is good stuff. All right, loyalty to the vision, absolutely. Absolutely. That's where it's got to be. Loyalty to the vision, not to the people. And Honey Tree says, here's a good comment. I'm much better at saying next faster than I used to be. It's usually a relief when they move on. Absolutely. All right. We want to talk now for a little bit. So I'm going to go back and just summarize Brandon's question. So Brandon was asking about the best platform. And I know several of you use different places. And if you would like to, go ahead and list the place where you've had the best luck in getting the best people to you. But I believe that it's the energy behind the action. It's the intent behind the action. If your intent is to say, I'm going to find 30 of the most amazing people on Indeed, and here's what they look like, here's what they smell like, here's what they feel like when I'm in their energy, you're going to get results. But you can also go to your Facebook community groups. I have an amazing assistant. Her name is Kim, and she's actually here at my home on a Sunday working because we had a party for my stepfather yesterday. Not sure if you saw that little video I shot afterwards, but we had a party for my stepfather, 75th birthday, and she came into my home. But where did I find her? Where did I find some other really great assistants? Facebook community groups. And I sit there for a moment and I think about the energy and I think about the person coming into my home and folding my laundry and doing my dishes and running office errands and doing computer work and doing all different kinds of things. And I sit in that space thinking how wonderful it is now that this person has shown up, and how much I enjoy being in their company and in their energy, and how it's fantastic to be working in my office while they're getting the dishes and the vacuuming and the cat taken care of. And I sit in that energetic space, and then I write my ad. And then I could go to Facebook and I put on there looking for a kick-ass assistant or whatever it might be. Those were my terms in one of my ads that I wrote. But it's whatever the energy is that flows out of me. And then I put that out there as an ad, and then I attract some of the most amazing people in minutes. The cool thing about Facebook community groups is that it can be instant gratification. And if you don't have an assistant, I highly encourage you to get an assistant or two. You can pay them just next to nothing. Not that you want to, as they progress with you, of course, pay them more and more and more and more. But what I'm saying is, they are not that expensive to get on board. And to me, my assistant, my personal assistant, is like an extra set of hands. And I call the person typically my do this, do that person, because it's like do this, do that, do this, do that. So everything I'm thinking about that I need to be doing are the things that I just keep delegating to her. And sometimes we do it via email. Sometimes I just text her saying, okay, no, you're on your way. Here are the things that I need to get done, and in order of importance, and she just knocks through them. And we made great teamwork happen yesterday to get ready for my stepdad's party. So how many of you use your community Facebook groups? Go to those groups, put your ad, but do not do it. Do not do it without sitting in the energy first of who you want to attract. You get that? So you got to sit in that energy. Don't sit in the energy of I'm desperate, I really need somebody, my life's going to fall apart if I don't have somebody. Do it from the place of, wow, this is going to be absolutely amazing once I attract this person. So get yourself an assistant. I even think assistants need assistants. And there are always people out there in the community, whether it's a senior, whether it's a younger high school person who's looking for some part-time work. And I have the mindset of hire out for tasks. Don't think about formulating a whole new job if you don't want to. Just think about tasks that you can hire out for, and then see if there's other tasks that that person can take on. So let's see, we've got a couple comments coming through about assistants. Mindy, assistants are the best. So grateful for them. Honey Tree says, thank goodness for my assistants. Absolutely. They are amazing. I don't know what I'd do without an assistant or two. All right. So what I want to talk to you about next, and Brandon, does that answer your question? So look at Indeed, but look at those community Facebook groups. Your community is on there. People know people. And remember, we have engagement prizes going on this evening. You get yummy brownies for the most engaged, and you can win over and over and over and over again. So don't be afraid to comment, even if you've won before. And then we've got our marketing video contest going on for the person who is the most engaged group member in our childcare business success group. And that person's going to win a marketing video. So engagement. So now's a good time to go and tell some other people that you're tuning into the Childcare Business Success Show, and they should be here tuning in as well, because we're talking all about hiring challenges. All right, what other questions do you have? If you've got some, go ahead and push them through, and we'll get to answering those. But what I want to talk about next, Mindy had brought up a question about hiring or writing your help wanted ads. And I've addressed this a little bit, but when it comes to writing your ads, here, I'm going to put this on the screen so people know what we're talking about. And I've done articles about this in the past, all about writing your ads and what are the do's and don'ts of writing help wanted ads. And one of the things that I really encourage you not to do is don't look at everybody else's and write the same thing that they're saying. And for a while, I did studies of help wanted ads, and I would look at what's everybody writing and how inspiring are these ads. And everybody would say things like, we offer competitive benefits and wages. And then there'd be nothing else much in the ad. Your ad wants to reflect the personality of the culture you created or the culture you want to create. This is really super important, is that you want it to reflect the culture. And when I was writing ads for my executive recruiting position, people would call me saying, Julie, your ads spoke to me. You want to write ads that speak to people. Not to, where they're like, well, I thought this might be an interesting job, but you want to write them where they speak to people's hearts. The only way they can do that is to have feeling behind it. The feeling is going to come through from the energy that's behind the ad that you write. So before you write your ad, play your favorite song, visualize that ideal person coming into your life, go to church, whatever it might be, make love to your partner. But after you do those things is the time to sit down and just write an amazing help wanted ad. That is the time when you're on an energetic high, not when you're desperate, not when you're feeling lonely, not when you're feeling like, life's falling apart. So let's get an ad out there to make it better. Mindy says, agreed, want to stand out. Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely. Brandon says, need to stand out from the others. Absolutely. That is so very true. Oh, Mindy says, wait, she said something about brownies. I haven't had one of these brownies in a very long time, but they are so good. So Mindy says, I just had a brownie tonight. It was my happy place. Yep, I agree. Those brownies are amazing. So brownies is our engagement prize for this evening. All right, are you enjoying the show? Give me an oh yeah. Are you getting some good stuff? I see several of you on here. Let me know how you're enjoying the show. Give me a 1 in the comment section if you're loving the show, if you're digging it. Give me a 2 if you would like more. So maybe you're going to give me a 1 and a 2. Oh, well. And if you're tuning in live or to the replay, feel free to participate. Even if you're tuning into the replay, I do come back and read through comments. And we're just going to go for a few more minutes to wrap up on some things about writing ads. I want to share with you more and more and more. So Honey Tree says, yep, I think we do reach out from desperation, especially when HR is responsible for so many sites at once. That is really true, especially if your HR is doing most of the hiring. It's really hard to implement a lot of this. But the cool thing is if you have a meeting with HR or get them on board watching this video, get your owner watching this video, because hiring mistakes cost a company a lot of money. And the cost of turnover can be calculated somewhere around 30% of what you would pay that person on an annual basis is what it costs you when turnover happens. And turnover is not on your profit and loss statement. So it's not something that you could easily see and easily identify. So it's really important that you keep it in the back of your mind that when somebody turns over, it just costs you 30% of what you would pay them on an annual basis. So a little math, if you're paying them $30,000 a year, 30% of that is $9,000. And sometimes we have problems looking at our numbers in this industry, but you've got to get clued into what your numbers are so you can bring about change. And we only change by pain or by pleasure. Those are our two motivators, pain and pleasure. So if you're not looking at the numbers, which might bring you pain, you might not have enough motivation to change this. And this is why we want to have that conversation if we're not the owner with our owner, or have the conversation with HR about the numbers and say, this is what it's costing us because we're having this, and this turnover. Yeah. Know your numbers. And it's true, Honey Tree, it is a difficult task for one person, and especially if we're going different ways. And sometimes when we have one person in an organization who's doing all the hiring, they're hiring from the place where they're at, inside of their mindset. And we don't know how that's going to line up with your mindset until we get them in. So keep that in mind. And if there's any way that you can reject a hire that you know in your gut is not the right hire, or you can raise a stink saying, hey, this is not going to be a good match for us, and it's better that we don't hire this person than hire them and have turnover in a few weeks, I would totally talk to that person and have that direct communication so that you can get on the same page with that. Yep, I shudder to think how much is spent on turnover. And Brandon, I'm not sure if you want to clarify your comment, but somewhat depends on the size of your center. So I'm not sure which that is pertaining to. Okay. All right. So when it comes to writing your help wanted ads, the writing of them itself, I encourage you to read your ads and ask yourself the question, does this ad inspire me? If the ad falls flat for you, chances are it's going to fall flat for anybody else who you are hiring. So that's tip number one. Number two is make sure that your ad reflects the culture that you're currently cultivating or that's already in existence. A lot of times our help wanted ads become like hype, right? We're promising all of these different things, a positive workplace culture and good communication, and we haven't figured out how to make that happen in our workplaces. So we're really promising things that we're not yet delivering on. So there's better ways to structure your ads when you write them to be reflective of your goals, but also so that somebody's not going to be in culture shock saying, no, wait a second, you said that this was going to be like this, and now I get into your workplace and it's totally the opposite, or it's totally like this. The other thing that we want to do is have total transparency with what the job entails. And this is during the interview process, as well as when you're writing the ad, is to make sure that you're being transparent about the duties and expectations. Because a lot of times our new candidates will come in and they feel like the person interviewing is hiding some things. And then when they get into the job, they learn they've got to clean out toilets, plunge toilets, take out the trash, and do all those different kinds of things. So you want to let them know right from the start what's going to be their expectations. Another thing that you want to let them know right from the very start is, how is their success in this position going to be measured? So you want to set them up for success right from the very start and say, here's how your success is going to be measured in this position, right? Okay. So let's see what you have to say about that. Mindy has to say, I write them, I go back and ask myself, would I answer this ad? You know, and be brave about it too. You could even show the ads to your friends and say, all right, is this a job that if you were in childcare, you'd want to apply for? Now, if your friends are not in childcare at all, then it probably might fall flat because you're not talking to your target audience. But ask people, would this inspire you? And ask yourself that. And also, this is a really important question. When you're on your telephone interview with people, ask them this question. Ready? Pens and paper in hand. Ask them this question. What inspired you to respond to our ad? What was it about our ad that pulled you in? And then I would write those things down and keep a strong mental note about what's pulling people in to your energetic zone when you are writing those ads. Make sense? All right. Yep. So you're multitaskers. Let's see. All right. Okay. I'm seeing if there's anything else. All right. Any other questions? I know we've got a lot on hiring. Any other questions? Honey Tree says, I almost feel like it may seem like I'm trying to scare people away with being clear about the expectations. And we're not trying to do it to scare people away, but you also have to have a really good blend of the vision. If you are not sharing the vision and sharing the story, but only being really direct with people, you are going to scare some people away. So you want to, just as enthusiastically or as transparently as you're sharing the duties and responsibilities, is also to be very enthusiastic. And the enthusiasm that you have for the vision should be like 10 times the amount as what the expectations for the position are, because you're selling people on the vision. And when you share the vision, you want to engage people's feelings. You want to get them on board. And Mary, who I shared with you earlier about putting her video profile on Indeed, she also shares her vision. She had somebody who turned down a higher paying job at another center because they just wanted to work for her, because quite frankly, when she shared her vision and her story, they left in tears because they were so bought in to her why she does what she does. And she made them feel something. So also in your help wanted ads, here's another golden nugget for you. Are you ready? This is another golden nugget, is to use feel words. Use words that help people feel something. Draw them a picture. Help them to feel something when they read that ad. And if you don't, and it's just going on facts and logical stuff, then you're not really going to get people bought into the vision. And this is true for clients. This is true for new staff members. This is true for engaging a community of followers, is that people are inspired when they feel connected. And the feeling is what causes people to buy. It's not logic. It's the feeling. So when you connect with people's feelings, you're going to connect them to your vision. You're going to connect them to your why. You're going to connect them to your story. And they're going to be so much more likely to stay as an employee than they would be if they just knew the facts and figures and logic. And a lot of times, even in our marketing brochures, we're just talking logics. We have a Zono machine. We have ProCare. We have this. We have this. We have this. We have this. Our list is longer than the person's next to us. But the way that you want to represent your uniqueness is by helping people feel something different when they're in your energetic zone. That is key. Help people feel something different when they're in your energetic zone. Make sense? Okay. All right. Let's see if there's anything else here that we want to talk about. And if there's anything else that you've got questions about, we don't get to it on this show, we will definitely get to it on the next show. But in just a few minutes, I'm going to be announcing our prize winners for our brownies this evening, as well as for our marketing video, our engagement there. Also, just want to remind you too, a couple of things is that we've got an event coming up this Sunday. We kick off. It's this Sunday. It's the Create My Dream Team Experience. And we kick off Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock. And we go through Monday evening, 9 o'clock. And this is the schedule to get you the most information that I possibly can. And we're also having a special owners only session on the morning of the 9th. So John, if you can make sure that you put the Create My Dream Team Experience link here for everybody. Also, we've got a limited number of scholarships left. I think there's just a couple left. If you would like to be considered for a scholarship, make sure you go to childcarebusinesshelp.com. And there is an application there that you can fill out to be considered for a scholarship to get your registration fee waived for the event. So I'm super excited about that. Also, I have a little announcement. I want to tell you about something really cool that we're doing. And I'll be doing a longer video on this just in general, but right now we are putting together a vault of audio programs, videos, forms. And these audios, videos, and forms have been something that I've been putting together for the past 20 years since I've been working in this industry. And they are on a membership site that we are going to open up the doors to you via our Excellence Club. And the cool thing is you might have heard about the Excellence Club in the past, but what we're doing is offering 30 people the opportunity to grab a lifetime membership to the club. So the club is regularly $97 per month. Now what we're going to do for 30 people, instead of paying $97 a month forever, which could amount to thousands of dollars, we're offering you a lifetime membership. This is only for the first 30 people who hop on board. We're offering you a lifetime membership for $997. So one-time pay of $997, and you get a lifetime membership. With this membership, you're going to get access to me for a monthly coaching call. You're also going to have access to our database of over 80 audios, videos, different resources on different topics, everything A to Z to be successful in your childcare program. Dealing with difficult behaviors effectively, marketing your childcare program, staff meetings, team building activities, open houses, you name it, we've got it covered. Budgeting, that was a big hot topic, especially for our owners out there. So we're going to make all these audios available, and you have lifetime access to them. And there's going to be more things that we're doing too. I'm also going to be looking at some of our marketing parts, some of our partners, and doing exclusive interviews with them on marketing, on building your business, on different things. And we're going to be featuring those interviews on the membership site that you can log into. You'll get a username and password. You'll be able to log in and have unlimited access to the videos and audios. And we also listen to our members. So if there's something that you need a topic on or need some guidance on and we don't have it there for you, we will work to get an interview scheduled so that we can provide you with some expertise in that area. If you are interested in grabbing, being one of our 30 people to take advantage of this, all you have to do is shoot me an email, julie@childcarebusinesssuccess.com. Let me know that you want to say yes to a lifetime membership, and we'll get you the link so that you can grab a lifetime membership for $997. Yes, the math absolutely sounds good. So instead of $97 a month, which is still our introductory rate, that's going to be going up to $197 a month. But instead of the $97 a month or $197 a month, you're paying a flat fee of $997, one group coaching call with me per month, audio resources, video resources, everything A to Z. I'm thinking right now we've got some audio programs on legal issues, so with some attorneys. We've got financial programs on budgeting. So there's all different resources for you there. And we started out as a membership site community many, many moons ago, and it was called the Leadership Connection. And then we switched it to Julie's Inner Circle. And since then, now we've just been putting all the resources into our club page, which is the Excellence Club for Childcare Owners and Directors. So if you would like one of these memberships, shoot me an email, julie@childcarebusinesssuccess.com. Be one of our first 30, and you're going to get the $997 flat rate. And when these memberships are gone, they are gone. I'm taking it off the table. So it's not a forever thing that's out there. It's actually something that's I'm hoping is going to fill up very quick. And I just wanted to give back to this industry and thought that we've got all these tools and resources that would benefit so many people. So we're opening up the club for a lifetime membership for only $997. So you can either leave Jana a comment in here in the comment section or shoot me an email, julie@childcarebusinesssuccess.com. All right, Jana, do we have any prize winners? And if you're still tuning in, you've got any last minute questions, go ahead and shoot those through. And whether you're tuning in live or to the replay, please know I will come back and read through your comments and do my best to answer them. I hope you've enjoyed the show this evening. And let me go over here so John and I can message each other. Let me see if we've got some winners. Bear with me for a second. Okay, hang on here. I see that we've got winners. Jana's texted me. I'm just not able to open up the windows here. Okay. All right. Jana says very, very tough one again. So we've got a couple of prize winners. One is for the video for engagement. So I would like to congratulate, I'll do my own drum roll here. So for our engagement from the last week in our group, it is, let's see, Rosalind Bastille. Did I get that right? Oh, no. Rosalind Baptiste. Sorry. I think that's it. So congratulations, Rosalind. You win the video, the marketing video. Now, who gets the brownies? Well, all right, this was a tough choice as well. So I'd like to congratulate Honey Tree on the brownie win. Congratulations, and I'll do an after doorbell. Yay. All right. So Honey Tree, you get the brownies. Awesome job. Congratulations. Jonna will be sending you a prize claim form. Please allow 30 days to get your prize. And if you won the marketing video, she'll also be getting you instructions on how to put that together so we could get it for you in video format. So let's see what some of our closing comments are. All right. Honey Tree says, thank you for the reminders to keep the vision in the forefront. Absolutely. Vision is everything. Mindy says, yay, Honey Tree. And Mindy, thanks for all your engagement this evening. I think Mindy got a double batch of brownies last week for a couple of wins. All right, let's see, anything else? All right. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up our show. So remember, if you would like to be one of our founding lifetime members of the the Excellence Club for Childcare Owners and Directors, shoot me an email, julie@childcarebusinesssuccess.com. And you got to do what you got to do to get out to the Create My Dream Team experience. You got to be there. You could have excuses or you could have results. And if you want results and you need your mindset shifted, do not give yourself any excuses, any leeway, any backouts of coming to the Create My Dream Team experience happening October 7th and 8th with a special owners only session the morning of the 9th. I'm going to be there and I want to see you there in Boston. And like I said, if you need a scholarship, we've got a couple left. Go to childcarebusinesshelp.com, fill out the application, see if you qualify. Otherwise, go to rockmychildcare.com, like rock my baby, and get yourself registered. I cannot wait to see you there. Have a good week, everyone. I'm Julie Bartkus, workplace transformationalist and best-selling author of Childcare Business Success. And I'll see you for our next episode of the Childcare Business Success Show. Bye, everyone. Thanks for being here. And even if you're tuning into the replay, leave me a comment. Participate, and I will come back and read through. All right. Good night, everyone. See you soon.